Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You've requested a ride to the garage. At some point, you should peek down and look at the skid plate.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Since I last saw Nick, he'd done over 4,000 miles in the van, driving to Kherson, Kharkiv, and various other places in eastern Ukraine delivering aid. During that time, the van had been completely reliable, but there were some small things that we needed to assess to stay on top of the maintenance.
At one point, this door did get slammed hard enough it like quick closed and bounced back. So now it doesn't quite close right. But if you just just be careful with it, you know?
Okay, so back in the transit. You've done some miles in this.
Oh yeah, we've been Kherson, Kyiv, and Pokrovsk.
Crazy. Okay, well, it still has a clutch.
I did what I could to get rid of it, but you know.
Yeah. You've kept it. You've kept it well. You're looking after it. I am pleased. No, that oil leak doesn't look too bad. I'm pleased you've used the skid plate, because that was expensive. I'm pleased it's getting used. We're off to go. We're following Victor. Victor is in a Mazda. That's a US import. And we're going to get the van clean, ready for his next mission in Kyiv, but that isn't driving aid about, that's driving people, so it needs to be really nice and clean. Cars, BMWs and Sprinter vans. Welcome to Ukraine.
Yeah, there's only 3 vehicles in Ukraine: BMWs, Sprinter vans, and little black Skodas. Oh, and Ladas.
Alright. Let's go get the van washed.
The van was, of course, disgusting. I never actually got time to properly clean it when I bought it from the taxi company.
And there's tomato juice everywhere.
Yeah, that's the Bob She's fault.
But I think she'll do a good job of it.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what are these?
Okay, so longtime viewers will remember the story about the German artillery piece that we painted and auctioned off.
Yeah.
These are a couple of the inserts from that rocket case that, you know, keeps the rocket stabilized and central so it's not banging around inside the case.
When this van was a taxi in Scarborough, it never had rockets in the back. How times change.
After dropping the van off, we walked into town. We both needed to find some smart clothes for our time in Kyiv.
We've got the...
What's this? With the German plumbing uniform.
Well, we're halfway there. We've at least got some kind of uniform. If we could just find shirts to match.
Oh!
Well, hell yeah.
A Volvo uniform.
Team Volvo?
Oh, Team Volvo. They have matching Volvo shirts.
Fucking hell.
Oh, that one's broken.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Volvo would have been perfect. These kind of match. They're Aldi's uniforms.
Aldi! They have Aldi uniforms.
And then they've got matching.
Will that fit you?
I mean...
I feel like we can pull this off.
This might almost be hilarious enough to be worth the, 100 hivna per shirt?
Let's do it. Do you think these look professional enough to be drivers, or do we just look ridiculous?
We are clearly employed and therefore professionals. We have a profession. Just we're obviously only delivering foodstuffs to Aldi's in Ukraine. We're trying to beat out the new ATB. Also, Nexus is a major competitor of ours. And, you know, we're just trying to bring the Aldi brand and, you know, the best low prices available anywhere in Europe to Ukraine. Because obviously, Ukraine is part of Europe, not part of Russia.
I think we're looking too much into this. We don't actually work for Aldi.
Don't tell Aldi that. They'll quit sending me my paychecks.
Hallo alle Kunden, hier ist der nur Aldi hier in Ukraine. Es ist der perfect Platz für alles shopping, is it? How do I say it?
Man, solo you look silly. But together, we look ridiculous.
Aldi.
Following on from whatever that was, we spent the rest of the day exploring Ukrainian building sites.
This is the strangest Aldi I've ever worked at.
After some sushi for dinner, the van was finally ready to collect. I was really excited.
So the van's clean.
Yeah, this is the cleanest I've seen it, like, ever.
This isn't a car detailing video, but this should be appreciated. She's done a fantastic job. This is awesome.
I legitimately feel bad about the tire I'm about to put in here, because the spare tire is now the dirtiest part of the vehicle.
The next morning we set off to Kyiv. The road to Kyiv is a really long, boring road where you really don't see anything for 5 hours. The most exciting part was when we saw another red transit van.
Red transit! Red transit! Red transit!
A few hours after that, we decided to stop to clean the windscreen of all the bugs.
This is a lot of bugs. Are these going to come off?
I mean, if they don't come off, I'm not going to have sauce for dinner, so I better get them all. That'll need a quart or two.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Why are you pouring it from so high? Whoa!
Because normally I can hit that straight on, but...
That'll do.
I mean, the bottle's basically
I
empty.
I
don't think any actually went in the thing.
No.
With loads of oil dripping down the side of the engine, we approached Kyiv. Nick took over driving so I could get some B-roll for this video.
Whoa! Fucking hell, man!
If you can put my thing back up. Thank you. Only fucking B-roll. When you said B-roll, I thought you meant roll the thing. So. That is the most shit that's ever gone flying going around a corner in this thing.
That was fast, dude. That was a bit crazy.
Well, I thought it was going to be a more gentle roundabout experience. No, that's just a driveway. Yeah. Welcome to Bucha. Oh, hey, look, he actually heard me, I guess.
Right now we're in Bucha, next to Irpin. This is where the Russians occupied at the start of the war in February 2022. They're doing a great job rebuilding though, because when I was first here in May 2022, everything was still destroyed. And they're doing a fantastic job of putting everything back together. I think the car wash man thinks we're doing a bad job of it ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know if this is just a full service car wash or he just wants us to quit fucking it up.
So the van's clean now at least.
Yep. Windshield's cleaner than it's been this whole trip, especially after all the bugs.
Later on, after meeting with the rest of our group, we toured around some museums.
So this is a BMW E34. And this old Beamer was used to evacuate troops from the front line that were injured. How cool is that? And hilariously, it's actually in better condition than mine. There's definitely less rust.
Do you think they'll let me play with the swords?
No.
Do you think they'll stop me if I have a sword?
Yeah.
See, the point of a two-handed sword is actually this fulcrum point. You're not actually putting your weight into it, it's using that pivot. Because this little pivot down here makes this tip move way faster.
It's 12 a.m. The curfew's just hit. You have to be off the streets by 12 or you can get arrested by the military. I've just got back to my hostel and there's an error. I think you can hear the siren on the video. It's pretty empty on the street. It's a strange feeling. It's a really strange feeling.
The next morning, we were up really early to drive to Kharkiv. I was quite nervous about going to Kharkiv. Several Ukrainians have told me to be really careful because they're getting shelled every day. So we've stopped for fuel. We're only an hour from Kharkiv now, and everything's changed a bit. I was last in Kharkiv 2 years ago. I'm not quite sure what to expect this time. And there's dogs everywhere at this petrol station. Woof woof. Something is in Ukraine, they have a lot of older cars. And I'm sure this guy doesn't drive this BMW E30 because it's a cool classic BMW. He just drives this because it's his car. That's just sort of what they drive here. That every car isn't brand new like it is in England or whatever. So we've arrived in Kharkiv, and yeah, it's not good. There's a lot of destroyed buildings, unfortunately, as expected. The Russians are hitting this really hard every day. It's not nice. This is just an apartment block, and it's had a missile fired into it. Just walking, there's just destruction everywhere. So many windows are just boarded up. There's just destroyed buildings everywhere, and people are just living like it's normal because you can't just hide in a shelter all day. People have jobs, businesses. You can't just close your business or not go to work, then you have no money. As we sat waiting, the air raid siren once again went off, and we heard 2 explosions. I couldn't help but feel very nervous.
That got my attention.
Another one.
Another one too.
Yeah. But notice that the locals aren't interested even in that. Like, they're not just not running, they're not breaking stride, or like looking up.
How many shellings?
4.
4 shellings.
Four
And
shellings.
how far away were they?
I think one was near us, maybe 1 kilometer.
1 kilometer from
1 kilometer
from us.
The 3 in the Saltivka neighborhood. It's just like
Okay.
7 kilometers.
Do we know what they hit?
Huh?
What did they hit?
Just usual building. We will go there.
Oh,
We should go and look at the damage.
Yeah.
This is a perfect opportunity.
okay, yeah.
Where is?
Before we headed to the bomb site, our guide took us to a different location to give the emergency services time to deal with the initial aftermath. Unfortunately, what we saw wasn't surprising anymore. More civilian buildings destroyed by Russia.
They're searching for partners to start renewing. It can be restored, and they have the restoring plans being.
So this has obviously been bombed before, because I doubt they've got that Sterling board up this fast.
How many?
So one here and one there, and 3 people got killed. І в нас скільки поранених? We have no...
Дякую.
Нас 6.
This really is just an apartment block. You know, it's just a block of flats where people live.
Life is corrupted by Russian troops. Until the moment when we will have no air defense, until the moment when we will have no long range to attack back, this war will not stop, and it will expand further across Europe and not only. We call on our international partners to deliver to Ukraine everything that is needed to protect civilians, to stop this brutal war of aggression, to stop the killings.
I was unsure as to where these people were going to go, because I imagined the whole building was condemned.
Вот Алексей Александрович рядом, Юрий.
The next morning we arrived back in Kyiv. Unfortunately, the trip to Kharkiv had been hard on the van.
So once again, the dashboard looks like a Christmas tree. And I think another intercooler pipe has gone because it's lost all power and it's developed a huge oil leak. So this is an oil leak on one side and it's actually pooling on top of the gearbox. So that's not ideal. I really hope this is quite obvious. It's booked in at tomorrow at the transit specialist, but he doesn't provide parts, we have to take them ourselves. It's looking like the big oil leak is a rocker cover gasket. Hopefully the injectors don't have to be pulled to change that. That'd be really bad. Make sure nothing drops in once we take the oil cap off.
Yeah, that's exactly why I would never design a car like this.
Yeah, okay. Whoa! Where's that coming from? This isn't so simple it's coming from there, is it? There's nothing higher than it. There's loads of it all just pulled up. It might make sense to pressure wash it at the car wash, but then it's making it difficult for the mechanics tomorrow because they can't see the oil leaks. Oh, I think that's from the oil cap.
I mean, wouldn't it have, like, we put oil
Unless
in it
it's
multiple
diesel.
times.
Could be, because these are your injectors.
Doesn't smell like diesel. Here, smell my finger.
You haven't just poured oil everywhere, have you, when you've tried filling it up?
No. Not that bad.
We've arrived at a car wash. I have no idea how it works. 200? 200? 200? Butlaska. Ooh. Go for it. Yeah, that'll do. It's really reacting with the oil.
Oh yeah,
Let's leave it a second, actually. You know what? Can we get more foam on, like, there's loads. We need some foam down there as well. Okay. Right, spray it up and stand fucking back. I have a really strong feeling there is no oil leak at the top. And in fact, it is, I forgot last week when we were filling it up, quite a lot got spilt. I think it's that. I think we only have one oil leak, the one we knew about that's leaking onto the alternator. Now the van's all washed, we're now trying to identify which of the turbo intercooler pipes has split this time. And weirdly, we're next to a British ambulance that's been donated by the Kenilworth Lions Club, so good job, Kenilworth Lions Club. I'm sure the Ukrainians are going to be really happy with this ambulance. It looks to be in really good order. When we were in Kharkiv yesterday, I saw a lot of German ambulances, so I think it's really civilian stuff this will be doing rather than frontline. But I'm not sure, I don't know. Do you think this will be a frontline ambulance, Nick, or city for civilians?
I mean, if they let me have it, I'll turn it into a frontline ambulance, but realistically, it's probably going to go to one of the cities that's close to the front lines.
Yeah.
And it's going to be helping out with the rocket strikes that Russia has been aiming at apartment buildings.
We were unable to find which pipe had split, or if a pipe had split at all. Instead, we just took the van straight down to the transit specialist. Our van was actually the newest there. This garage specialises in Mark V transits.
So we're off to go and collect the van now. Everything's fixed except it's still in limp mode, so it's not ideal. The DPF is blocked. The DPF is blocked and the mechanic thinks that's what's caused the pipe to split again. We need to pick it up and then take it to the DPF specialist. But everything else is fixed. All the doors now work again. The oil leaks have been left alone because they're not that bad. And they've serviced it, which is good. So I have 3 packs of cigarettes as a tip, which, if you're wondering, these were 385 hryvnia, which is about £4.50 for 60 Marlboro Reds. So cigarettes and beer is very cheap over here. This is a very familiar sight, a BMW E46 Touring.
and it's actually rustier than mine. It's pretty fucked looking, to be honest, but not as bad as this old Mercedes-Benz. So the van's ready. They've removed the DPF and reprogrammed it in the day. It should be at least 2 weeks in England. It's crazy how quickly and efficient Ukrainians are. The van is fixed and it is faster than ever now it hasn't got a DPF. The mechanic told me that this will not pass British MOT. I was impressed I even knew what that was. But in Ukraine it doesn't matter. We turned up unannounced at an exhaust garage this morning and they fit it in same day, removed the DPF, blanked it, or we'll put the straight through pipe on, and then programmed the ECU so it knew it didn't have it anymore. Are you happy the van is fixed?
Oh, I'm fucking delighted. I can't wait to get this thing on a racetrack.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
I'm gonna get it on one of these fancy ass Zelensky highways and we're just gonna hit 120 and see what happens.
That may have been what broke it the first time.
Even if it is, you only van once.